What if I told you that during the next economic collapse, your gold won't save you, but a pack of cigarettes and 3 cheap lighters could be worth more than a month's salary? By the conclusion of this video, you'll comprehend why a $1,000 investment in the appropriate practical goods and skills will preserve your family when $10,000 in gold bullion won't. Allow me to demonstrate the pattern, because this has occurred previously, multiple times across multiple countries, and the data communicates the identical story every single time. Number 8. The comparative analysis destroys gold's claim as collapse insurance. Let me show you gold's fundamental problem as a collapse hedge. In the Bosnian siege, where the economic system collapsed most completely, gold held virtually no value during the crisis itself. The fundamental problem: gold produces no income and addresses no immediate survival need. Food feeds you, tools allow you to produce and repair, skills generate services people trade for, but gold is inedible, non-functional, and only valuable if someone else wants to trade for it. In early collapse phases, when people are desperate for food, tools, and medicine, gold is not what they want. In later phases, when civilization stabilizes around a new equilibrium, gold might regain value. But the person holding only gold while others hold productive assets will have suffered through the crisis without generating income or means of survival. During the 2008 to 2009 financial crisis, farmland increased in value by 17% while the S&P 500 declined 46%, and gold initially declined before recovering. Farmland provided stable income returns throughout: rental value, crop sales, direct food production, regardless of what other assets did. Here's the brutal math. Farmland's average volatility from 1992 to 2020 was 6.84%, less than half the S&P 500's volatility of 16.9%, and notably lower than gold's volatility of 14.8%. During periods of high inflation, farmland returns averaged 14.67% annually, more than double the average inflation rate itself. Not theory, historical fact. So where are we seeing these signs right now? Venezuela, Stage 5, complete collapse, barter economy, currency worthless. Turkey, Stage 3 advancing, official inflation understated, gold accounts doubled as citizens flee the lira. Lebanon, Stage 4, banks froze accounts, currency lost 98% of value in 18 months. And the elephant in the room, the United States, $38 trillion in debt. The Congressional Budget Office projects deficits will continue indefinitely. Interest payments on the debt now exceed defense spending. The Federal Reserve's balance sheet expanded by trillions since 2008. Central banks globally are buying gold at the fastest pace since 1996. More gold than US Treasuries for the first time. One of you commented, "My only bone to pick is this. This assumes that currencies collapse one at a time." I think we're looking at a general collapse of Western currencies within a couple of years. I agree. For the first time in civilized history, 100% of the world's currencies are fiat with none backed by gold or anything real. With global interdependency, the destruction of major currencies will likely happen simultaneously. Domino effect, systemic failure. So here's the question that actually matters. What do you do? The Amish Hedge is a diversified strategy combining 5 elements. Number 1. Acquire productive land if economically feasible. Even small-scale vegetable gardens provide meaningful food production capacity and develop skills. Communities in Venezuela adopted rooftop gardens and backyard food production as necessity drove adoption. Number 2. Develop practical skills targeting in-demand areas. Food production including gardening and animal husbandry, food preservation, repair skills like carpentry, plumbing, and mechanical work, medical knowledge including first aid and basic nursing. These skills cannot be stolen, degrade only through disuse, and remain valuable regardless of economic regime. Number 3. Accumulate practical goods with direct utility and long shelf lives. Medical supplies, tools, batteries, lighters, hygiene items, preserved foods. These maintain utility regardless of economic condition and become barter currency in collapse scenarios. Number 4. Build community networks explicitly and seriously. Participate in community organizations. Build relationships with neighbors. establish communication networks, identify people with useful skills and resources. Number 5. Hold some precious metals for optionality after the crisis stabilizes, but only after you've secured the first 4 elements. Gold provides no value during the crisis itself. The evidence from multiple documented collapses, Bosnia, Venezuela, the Great Depression, recent US recessions, converges on a consistent conclusion. When monetary systems fail and institutional support collapses, survival depends on productive capacity, practical skills, and community networks. Not gold, not savings, not financial assets. The question isn't if, the question is whether you'll position yourself to survive when it does. If this forensic breakdown gave you a new lens, hit subscribe. This one was inspired by your comments on the last video demanding practical survival assets instead of financial theory. Drop a helicopter emoji if you're already positioning for what's coming and tell me what you want me to dig into next. Some of you are already there. One comment: my grandparents survived the Great Depression because they had land and skills. Another: we've emptied our savings account completely and put everything into precious metals. That's a start, but make sure you're balanced across the 5 elements. The only question is whether you'll see it coming or be standing in line wondering how bread costs 200 billion marks while the person next to you trades a dozen eggs for a loaf because they own chickens. Now go diversify before you're forced to.